Well, look who it is. It's the Chieftains. Good morning, Chieftains. It's the rich jerk. Bunch of losers. Look at you sitting there at your laptops, hoping to get some good advice about copy. Nobody needs copy. All you need is attitude. Good morning. Good morning, Chiefs. How are you? It's me and the Rich Jerk here for you today, live on a Friday. Have you guys seen the Rich Dirk? Rich Dirk. That'd be like Dirk Diggler meets the Rich Jerk. That'd be cool. Yeah, so I think I showed this to you guys last Friday. And pretty cool little doll here. I want to get some of these made for us. Wouldn't that be cool? Like top chief of the week gets a doll in their figure. And this guy's pretty ripped too. Let's today is all about unclothing people. So being undressed. It's a naked episode of so there you go. Let me be the first person to fully expose. Now, whoever the actor is who played the Rich Jerk may have been rocking this in the original launch, but if you've seen the updates, I don't think that's quite accurate anymore. But I'll keep his pants on just because I don't want him stealing my gig. But good morning and happy Friday to you. I am in keeping with the theme of being less than dressed. Going to show you my underwear today because, as you may have seen, I posted up in the "This Made Me Buy" section. MeUndies is a subscription service for underwear. Who knew? And somebody brought it up on a team meeting. Yeah, isn't he shredded? Look at that, dude. Belkowitz, he can give you a run for your money, bro. I don't know what kind of bell he's swinging, but pretty impressive. So my underwear showed up in the mail yesterday, and I thought, well, what better way to reveal my underwear than, of course, on camera with you guys. So I'm just curious if they've carried, because I really dig their marketing and liking, just companies that have a nice vibe to them and a clear message and a clear voice. And I'm interested to see if it carries over. Like, this is all the packaging right here. Nice branding on the front. And I'm curious to see if there's anything inside here that sort of carries the message forward. A little stick letter. I didn't subscribe. I dipped my toe in the water. Where am I from this week? Water. By ordering one pair of undies. MeUndies has arrived. It's fun to say. MeUndies. I feel like a pirate. MeUndies have arrived. So let's see who's in the house. What's up, John? John Belkowitz. Hey, Ross, what's happening? Carl is in the house today. Hey, Carl's that Carl Henkel, who wrote this week's blog post from the copywriting from the trenches of the fashion industry. Very cool article. If you guys haven't seen that, be sure to go check it out. Yes, I'll definitely keep my pants on for a change. I had breakfast with Ben Johnson, and I told him I was going to show my underwear, and he's like, "Man, don't get typecast." So he's right. I should really back off the underwear theme. But yeah, Tanya's here. Hello, good morning, Tanya. Jason Liu from Hawaii. I think you told me how to say your last name properly on the deep dive. And I hope I'm saying it right. Lou, correct me. Bruce, what's up, Bruce? If you guys want to enter your last names, if you have a common name like Jim or Jay or Ryan, make sure I know it's really you. Hey, Carl, what's up? Carl Henkel in the house. First time contributor to the Copy Chief blog. Congratulations and thank you for that awesome article. Really insightful to think about copywriting from a very visually driven industry in fashion. So some great insights over at the blog. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it up. Loya, thank you, brother. Jason Loya. Got it. I got to think of like La Jolla in California. Ron, yes, you should be concerned that we have the same taste in comedy records. Carlin Pryor You see, I love the Rodney. Is that the greatest album cover ever? I mean, that is so Rodney in a nutshell. Of course, Lenny Bruce. Um, you got Sam Kinison, Carlin everywhere. Yeah, man, you should be very concerned, or we'll just have to bond over it one day. Hey, what's up, Wendy? Yeah, I'm a puppet act now. I've reached a new low. I went from pulling my pants off to becoming a puppet act in a matter of like 3 weeks. Taylor, what's up, Taylor? Taylor in the house. Stacy, how are you? Good to see you. Colleen, hello from Dallas, Texas. All right, cool. Like a lawyer from New York. Lawyer. I like that. That's perfect, Jason. Is that what you tell people? Hey, you got to get a lawyer. You know you're in trouble, dude. You got to go get a lawyer. All right. Rudy Ray Moore. What's up, Rudy Ray Moore? Oh, yeah. And I'm not hip to Rudy Ray Moore. Is that a comic? You'll have to hit me to him. Don't know Rudy Ray Moore. Okay, cool. Sweet. So let's dive into it. I'm going to cover a couple things. I'm really interested, and let's get this thread started. Isn't that a cool idea? Like, what would be better as marketers and copywriters to? I'm assuming you guys probably do this by nature, like I do. Is like whenever something gets me to buy, like really low friction, I tend to screen grab the whole process, right? And so. Maybe what's up, Craig from Seattle? Let's maybe I'll just dive into that thread real quick. Let's do that. Do I have Copy Chief open? Of course I do. Where is it? Entire screen. Oh, you know what? I forgot to open a second window. Give me 1 second here. When you're in Chrome and if you're using a Hangout, what you got to do is open a new window so that you can easily share screen on the page you want. So let me go to Copy Chief here, and now I'll come over here. Every week you get a newbie's guide to Webinar Jam, even though I've been using it for months, because I'm special that way. All right, cool. So here we are in Copy Chief, and yeah, I'd love to see what makes you guys buy. And like I said, I was on a group call and somebody mentioned MeUndies that they got like they wouldn't call it a shock and awe package, shock and delight or something like that. And it was basically just some lumpy mail, right? And they thought it was a really cool thing. So cool. So I just took screen grabs. So I went to the site just to see what they were about. I may have heard about them on a podcast or something, then maybe they sponsored a podcast. And so MeUndies.com, and right away I was shopping for underwear. And seconds later I was buying like right on the call. And I thought, well, how cool was that? Like no friction. Yes, I'll pay $25 to see how great these underwear are. And let's see, because, I don't need to point out to you that underwear have become a big concern in my life. By being pantless in a video, it made me realize that I should pay more attention to my underwear. So what's Russ saying? I was on their auto ship, then I got impatient, bought a box of 10. Interesting. Life was good for a while, then I lost a little weight. Now I'm back on the auto ship, but I'm losing more weight. And now they have pants. Their stuff works on me. Okay, interesting. Isn't that funny? Like you get this. I wonder if they survey their customers this well. Like there's so many reasons why people are a member of something and then stop being a member. Like my experience with Trunk Club reminds me of, I wrote a post about a Trunk Club once, and it was like the greatest thing in the world when I first did it. And then after a while, it just felt like the clothes weren't really me. And I felt like I had kind of exhausted the service. It's always really interesting. We can assume 100 different ways why people are an engaged customer or not, but reality is usually just slightly different. So this was I took a screen grab of the opt-in on MeUndies into your email, and I just thought this was a cool voice. Expect undies, videos, photos, and humor. So right away they're letting me know, we're an underwear company. We're not taking ourselves too seriously. And then look at this. What's this? A little credibility, little social proof. I rarely open newsletters, but I sure am glad I did this time. Grabbed a new pair of socks while I was at it. Jen P. So And then this is after I ordered, either after I ordered or after I signed up and opted in. It might have been even before I ordered. Jen at MeUndies. So now it's getting more personal, right? She's let me know she's a person and she started this company. And what's interesting, so a message from Jen, but first we have all this imagery first. Isn't that interesting that the world's most comfortable underwear, nice USP, and just some imagery to show that what they're about, some lifestyle stuff, some nice booties, some people looking potentially distraught or maybe even exhausted from a workout, somebody having a little bit more fun outdoors in their underwear. That's always fun. Sports, lifestyle stuff. And then the message was, welcome to the hashtag MeUndies fam. We're a group of undie lovers living our lives in the world's most comfortable underwear. Far too long, underwear has been the underdog, a second thought, the unsung hero. But times are changing. We've revolutionized the underwear game, one premium pair at a time. If you're like us, you put thought and care into what you put on your body. You care that it's premium quality, comfortable, sustainable, and kick-ass in every possible way. So we're raising the bar. It's time for underwear to win. Very cool. So what do we see here and what don't we see here? We see nothing about Jen personally, which is smart, because do I really care about Jen? Maybe, if she put some personal details in there, but she made it all about me, the hero's journey. Customer is the hero, as you may have, if you read the book Resonate by Nancy Duarte. It's all about the customer, the audience being the hero. And so without asking me if I felt this way about underwear, she sang me her song, her fight song. And this is who we are. We're a group of undie lovers living our lives in the world's most comfortable underwear. So immediately you're going, do I want to be anything less than that? Am I qualified? Yes, I am. I'm qualified to be in this group. And then the sort of the rally cry. By the way, what do we see here? Identity, struggle, discovery, result. Now, if we're judging it from 60-second sales hook formula, the ISDR, the only thing I would say that is missing here is a little bit about what makes the underwear so great. What's the discovery here? If you're like us, you put thought and care into what you put on your body. So they didn't go into any of the ingredients, so to speak. They just kept it conceptual, sort of a meta values rally cry. So, but there is some premium quality, comfortable, sustainable, and kick-ass in every way possible. Interesting. So they're not bogging you down with any details, nothing to kvetch over. Strictly high concept, meta values, lifestyle, and I wonder what their market is, women to men. This is all female. The only picture of a dude is a little unfortunate. But isn't that interesting? These are all women. Is that because they want men to feel like these are the kind of women they can attract when they're wearing these undies? Or is their market mostly women? Interesting. I'll have to find that out. Let's look at the, do they? Yeah, MeUndies sponsors Tim Ferriss podcast. Makes sense. Yeah, I heard them, maybe, not Serial, but what's the other one? From Alex Abrams. Startup. I think they might have sponsored Startup for a while too. Wendy, and no ladies underwear. Oh, really? So there's no ladies underwear, only men. Okay. So it's strictly for men. So this is all about you attracting these kind of women with your fancy underwear. Huh. Okay. No underwear for women. That is bizarre. Interesting. Okay, well, let's open them up. Why don't we? Let's see what we got in the package. All right. All this hubbub about MeUndies. Let's see MeUndies. Easy, convenient rip open package. Look what I chose. I chose the map pattern. Isn't that nice? You get to picture me in these later. Route 66. Pretty cool. I love them. Wow, they do feel really comfortable. Should I try them on? No, probably not. Oh yeah, that is really nice. Oh my God, I can't wait to put these on. Seriously, these feel like uh, amazing, amazing fabric. Okay, but no frills, nothing else in the package. That's it. Just the undies, just what you ordered. We're not here to take up all your time. We just want to give you some nice undies. There's Joplin, Missouri. There's Albuquerque. We'll be reading that later in private. Cool, man. So, yeah, they're cool, right? Wendy, I think real men feel a bit unmanly seeing other men. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I would not love if there was they sent me photos of a bunch of dudes in their underwear. That would not appeal to me at all. But it was interesting because here's these beautiful women posing in underwear, and I would just assume that that's part of their appeal, but it's all for men. Very interesting. Yeah, nothing else in the package. No upsell. No. It seems like there'd be some kind of stick, right? It's just something to further the case for being part of a community. But that's it. No frills. Yeah, I would have taken that. You know what Dollar Shave Club did that was very close? They'd have just a little booklet, a newsletter, and it was just full of cool facts and stuff. And it was meant for you to read on the toilet. And that's exactly what I would do. And it was always, I looked forward to it. It was really fun to read. It was like a mini, tiny magazine. Yeah, you're glad there were boxers. Yeah, that'd be embarrassing, right? If I was pulling out like G-strings. All right, so cool. I would imagine thongs are terrible. I don't know why women cheered. Well, I guess because you want to have no lines sometimes, right? But all right, cool. So let's dive into some hot topics here, and then let's see some things. Of course, if you have any questions here on the Chief Chat, hit me up right here in the chat. I'm watching you guys chat, hearing your thoughts in real time here. Isn't it nice to be in the big office today? I thought we'd change it up. It's a little more colorful, and it's fun to be in here. I'm trying to talk a little low because there's a massage happening just in the room next door. So don't want to ruin somebody's massage, but our business is important. So let's dive in. If anybody has any questions, be sure to hit me up. Happy to answer those. Got a good group today, and welcome to the new members. I thought I'd quickly talk for a moment about, and this is something that I probably need to formalize a little bit more, but there's like a really active marketplace inside of Copy Chief. And I thought I'd quickly go through the process with you of how I recommend writers within Copy Chief. So there's kind of two ways. If somebody comes to me and they say, I'm expressly here inside a Copy Chief to find and hire copywriters, I give them three options. I say, if you know, well, why don't you tell me a little bit more about your needs and what kind of campaigns you're running and that kind of thing. I sort of vet them a little bit. And then I say, if you would like direct recommendations from me, I'm happy to give those to you. And then I do, but I don't limit it just to that. Sometimes people come to me as referrals from other colleagues, and they specifically want my personal recommendation, copywriters that I've worked with or know intimately or have coached. And that's the list I will start with. But if they're want to have a lot of applicants, what I recommend to them is to do two things. One thing is they could, of course, just post up the job in the job offer section. And the other thing I teach them is how to, there's three things. So number two is post up some of their existing copy if they have it and see what kind of feedback they get, who shows up to give them feedback, and which of those writers resonate with them the most, to give them good advice, seem to understand their values and their market, And, it's a very natural process of figuring out which writers you think would be good to work with. And then I teach them how to visit your profile and see your postings. So that's how I recommend writers within Copy Chief, and it works out fantastically. And so if you're a freelance copywriter inside a Copy Chief, I want to make sure you understand the best way to get in front of prospects. A few things you can do. Number one, I would recommend setting up a special page. If you have a blog or if you have a website, just set up a special page, use lead pages, or just set up a page in your WordPress that says, welcome fellow Copy Chief members or chieftain or whatever. And, cut out all the noise and instantly have a sort of a personal connection of, hey, you met me, we met in Copy Chief, and now you're in my world. Great to have you here. Why don't you fill out this quick contact form and let me know how I can help you? Something like that, right? So it instantly goes from them just like shopping in a mall to going right to your boutique store, so to speak. Of course, they can just start a conversation with you right inside of Copy Chief, and that's typically what does happen. But I recommend creating a page like that just for Copy Chief members and linking that in your signature. Unlike some other forums where they don't want you promoting yourself or sharing links, I totally recommend that you promote yourself and share specific links in your signature file. So if you're out there giving kick-ass advice and earning all this sort of, in-house, let's call it chief cred. I like that, Ross. Write that down, chief cred. Then you should be rewarded for that people should see that you have a special link just for Copy Chief members. And you don't have to even offer a discount or anything like that, but just make it personal, right? Very cool. And the second thing is to just do a lot of kicking ass inside the feedback form, because the important thing to realize is that oftentimes it's not the person you're giving direct advice to who may be looking for the copywriter. It's, a lot of people are just sort of lurking there, and they're reading the advice that other people are getting, other members are getting, and they're saying, this person gets it. This is great advice. This person's consistently brilliant. And then they're clicking on and they're reading all your postings, and then they're reaching out to you. So, that's part of the reason I created Copy Chief, is to end the confusion of where do I find a good freelance copywriter. If they show up in some of these Facebook groups or different places, all they see is a lot of attitude and infighting and swearing. And not that we have to be goody two shoes. We're writers. We live in the dirt, so to speak. So be yourself. But Copy Chief is clearly a much more, sort of high quality place for people to come interact with you and see your brilliance and see your mind at work and appreciate the value you have to offer them before you ever even have a conversation. So you don't have to start with, well, let me give you all my credentials and make sure you understand the value of copy and all that thing. All that's taken care of when they come into your world. So take advantage of that. Like that's big part of what Copy Chief is. That's the marketplace aspect of it. So just wanted to make sure that was clear. And put that message out, because jobs happen all the time in Copy Chief. Many of them not just from the job posting or the obvious stuff. I just saw. Let me go back to Copy Chief here and log in. A screen share over there. And make it easy for people to reach out to you. So for instance, if you look down here, the profile post, I see that Charisse, is Charisse here with us, is reaching out to Stephen Carter, who Stephen, man, who kicks ass harder than Stephen in the feedback section? John Belkowich, maybe Wendy, Marcin, Ross. But those are the people who, anybody doing what those guys are doing, Josh, lots of you are active in there, but Jody, But he says, I don't see a way to PM you, so I'm writing here to ask you to contact me regarding writing copy for me. Boom, right there's money in the bank, kids. That's a job. That's what we're looking to do, is work and forward our career and do great things together. So let's all serve each other and make sure that we're easy to get a hold of. Now, I don't know why Sharice, I don't know if you're here, and hopefully you figured out how to PM, but let me just show everybody real quickly. So for instance, if I want to PM you, well, let's just go to Steven. And so what you do right here, see this? You click on his name and this comes up, and you click start a private conversation. And right there, you're talking. So you just subject line, hey, let's talk about, are you available for hire? Boop. Hit start a private conversation, and you guys are talking. It's that simple. So that's how we're set up here, guys. And I'd love to see everybody take advantage of that. Cool. Let's look at some questions here. Okay, Tanya's, let me start with, go back and, all right, Jason Loya, you want me to check out your site? Give me more specifics, Jason. This is Jay Loya. What's up, Jay Loya? One of the things when people ask for feedback, we ask them to be very specific. So happy to go to your site, but ask me specifically what you'd like me to check out. Otherwise, we could be here all day with me checking it out. Where does it hurt is the question. Is there a particular place on your site that you think it could be improved? Give me a clue, and I'm happy to click over there and take a look. Tanya's asking, I really want to crack the bullet beast. Apart from meticulously study Pennsylvania bullets and try to bullet out every single thing I came across, what else do you recommend I do to accelerate the progress and become a bullet machine yesterday? Okay. I recommend learning to think in bullets. Does that make sense? And of course that comes from writing bullets, but just as important as practicing the actual physical writing part, thinking in bullets is a critical part of it. So for instance, Dan Ludgater, who writes the bullets for my podcast, he does it in exchange for my coaching. So Dan listens to my podcasts, and I ask him for 10 bullets per episode, and he grabs the things that stand out to him that he thinks would make bullets. And sometimes his bullets are totally kick-ass, and sometimes they're less kick-ass. And when they're not particularly kick-ass, I jump in and I just comment on it and say, here's what would make this more kick-ass. And it's always about, it's a little bit about writing structure. Like, for instance, you always want to end your bullet on an impact word or phrase, right? Something with a hard K. You don't ever want to end on a connector word or something. And so that should almost be kind of instinctual as a writer, that you should, and read it aloud. That's one piece of advice I give all my sort of copy students, is especially with bullets, because it's so short. It's one thing, to sit there and read aloud an entire sales page, which you absolutely should do before you ever turn it in. But bullets, every one of them, read it aloud, because what you're doing is training your ear to hear a good rhythm. Bullets are lyrical. They should almost be singable, just like a good headline should be singable, very lyrical, have a pattern and a rhythm to it. And the other thing that does is it trains your brain to look for that quality in what you're writing, right? So by speaking it aloud, you're not only running it through the filter, you're also training your ear and your brain how to identify when you've nailed that lyrical quality. Study song lyrics, go to Lyrics A to Z, and songs that you like, go sit and read the lyrics, and realize that because you know the tune, you can't read the lyrics without hearing the song. And just think about how the songwriter sat there with probably a melody in their head, maybe a lyric first, but probably a melody first, and then thought of a theme, and then started finding this rhythm, this pattern to the song. Very much the same process. So reverse engineer how catchy things became what they were, like find the clues, look for the breadcrumb trail. So study song lyrics. You can get a book of lyrics. I have somewhere a little black book of lyrics from Leonard Cohen. Like I bet if you go to Amazon, you could find these little black book of, it's just a little black book of just song lyrics. And what's cool is with someone like Leonard Cohen, I know a lot of his music, but I don't know all his music, but he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time. And it's awesome. For me, it reads like poetry. And then, so I'm experiencing oftentimes the lyric first, and then I'll go hear the tune, and it all brings it home in even a deeper way. So study lyrics, get little black book of lyrics, and Leonard Cohen, Tom Waits, Paul Simon, even poppier stuff like Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen. Study these masterful, Bob Dylan, these masterful songwriters, and dissect what gives it that lyrical quality. These comedy records, like Ron was saying, you sit and you listen to these records and you just hear these patterns. Like Rodney Dangerfield has such a distinct pattern, these kind of one-liner jokes, very, very much a bullet format there. So study that stuff. All right, Tanya. So that's hopefully very helpful there. Is it? Yes. There you go. You found it already. Leonard Cohen, Little Black Book, Songbook. Perfect. Melanie's, hey, Melanie, what's up, girl? Bullets, try reading Shel. Oh, yeah. Shel Silverstein poetry. Yes. And Ray Bradbury fiction. Thank you. Great tip. Love it. Love it. Love it. Ah, Shel Silverstein. Oh, my God. What was the one about the giving tree? I'll cry right now. Don't make me cry. Don't make me sing. Don't make me sing. Remember that from Saturday Night Live? The woman who, the old drama queen, the theater lady. Don't make me sing. And they're like, we don't want you to sing. Okay, I'll do it. And then she'd sing. All right. Jay Loya. I've been struggling with my 60-second sales hook and would like to get your impression. Okay, great. You like to get my impression. So I will read your website in the voice of Dean Jackson. That will be my impression. All right, truegreens.com. All right, I'm going there. Let me take you guys there with me. I got a screen share. Can you guys hear me okay? Or you're like sitting there going, why is Rogers whispering today? Let me go back here. Good, Tanya. Glad that was helpful. All right. Let me pull up True Greens. I got to bring it onto this page. New tab. Boom. All right. Hi, I'm Jason Loya from Hawaii. There's your photo, you and your lovely family. Fantastic. For many years, it's supposed to be Dean Jackson, right? For many years, I tried to help people eat and live healthier with our struggling organic farm. And see, that's the thing. All right, that was my best Dean Jackson right there. But I'll read it for real now. For many years, I tried to help people eat and live healthier with our struggling organic farm. Okay, let's stop right there. Well, no, I'll read it all and then I'll go back. Growing food is hard, and so is changing our habits. I realized that just having access to the right food and information isn't enough to succeed on this health journey. We also need a supportive team around us. This is why I created a whole new company that would complete the loop. Now we're helping more people in 1 week than we were previously in an entire year. Click the button below for free access to our 80/20 Health Guide series. P.S. At the end, you'll get a chance to be one of the 75 founding members. Start your journey today. Not a button yet, coming soon. Okay. Okay, cool. So a couple of things that are happening fundamentally here that, first of all, you're identifying some good story points. But what's happening is you are trying, you've got dual struggle going on here, and it's confusing your message. So for many years, I tried is a struggle. So it's your struggle to help people eat and live healthy with our struggling organic farm. So you're struggling with two things. you're trying to help people eat and live healthier, and you have a struggling organic farm. So one thing I want to point out is, don't confuse the wording for the concept when we talk about the ISDR, right? So identity, you got identity, perfect right there. Excellent with the photo. And now we're into struggle. Yes, I do recommend saying, for years I struggled with, because it's just nice and clean and direct, and 60-second sales hook is all about economy. But I think you probably felt obligated to force the word struggle in here. So I want to share something with you that really changed how I view sales copy and all writing. It's such a fundamental thing, but it took Paris Lampropoulos pointing this out to me and reviewing some of my copy recently. And he said, realize you have to have one concept per sentence. And that seems like a very obvious thing. But if you go back and you look at a lot of copy, even control copy, and a lot of probably your own copy and just writing in general, we often, without realizing it, force more than one concept into a single sentence. And the reason that's such a problem is because the way the human brain engages with a concept, it moves slower. It processes a concept slower than the eyes can read the text, right? So when you say to somebody, for many years, that's the first concept we're putting in a time context, right? I tried. So now that's like a new concept, because you're talking about something that didn't work. So I have to get, okay, I tried, it didn't work, it failed. To help people eat and live healthy, third concept, with now I don't know who's, I'm assuming you're talking about your family, but I don't know that because you didn't say, with my family's organic farm. So what was that? The fourth concept, struggling organic farm, is like 5 concepts in one sentence. And that's just too much for the human brain to process in real time. So my brain's like over here, and my eyes are like down here already. You see what's happening? And so for me, that was a breakthrough to realize this amazingly simple thing that I was screwing up all the time, because it just feels like we have a limited amount of time to get our message out to somebody, and we need to pack it with information. But it's actually just the opposite. The best copy, what do we say, Ross? What does our man, Dr. McLaughlin say? Clarity trumps persuasion. You have to be abundantly clear at all times to be effective. So what you've got going on here, Jay, is too many concepts going. So pick the message you're telling. Is this message about you desperately wanting to help people eat and live healthy? Why? Or is this about your struggling organic farm? There's no room for both in this formula. Okay, so pick one. Growing food is hard, and so is changing our habits. And again, an admirable attempt at carrying 2 themes throughout a 60-second sales hook. I do admire what you were doing here, but it's unfortunately making it too complicated. Okay, so you were kind of pulling it off, but it's like the old thing in script writing, kill your babies, because it's a terrible term, I know, but oftentimes, I remember when I was writing comedy scripts, sometimes like the greatest joke in the world, it felt like that's the best joke I'll ever write, but it's blowing the scene, right? I'm trying so hard to make the scene work around this joke, and there's no way to do it. And I would just have to kill the joke, and it would be painful. But in the minute I would do that and just let it go, everything would fall together. And that's what you've got going here. So let's just, I mean, if it's about the farm, let's make it about the farm. Growing food is difficult. I realize that just having access to the right food and information isn't enough to succeed on this health journey. We also need a supportive team around us. This is why I created a whole new company that would complete the loop. And again, like new concept. So 2 concepts in here. This is why you created a whole new company, 1 concept. And again, I'm having it. My brain's wanting to process all this information. Created a whole new company. Wow, what did that look like? What you know? Was it a new farm? Did you hire a bunch of people? Like, I'm trying to picture what that looks like. You said that would complete the loop. And I'm sort of going, oh, what is this loop? Do I understand what the loop was? Is he talking about this loop up here? Right. So again, it seems like a really simple thing we're talking about, but it's the brain is really needing to process all this information. So now we're helping more people in 1 week than we previously did an entire year. So yeah, I see that you probably glommed that a little from my 60-second sales hook, which is totally cool to use proven examples, but here it feels a little forced. We're helping more people in 1 week than because again, because we don't have, this isn't much of a discovery, right? This is why I created a whole new company. You don't, like, the discovery is missing. So if it said in here, then I discovered a way that I could grow food faster and cheaper, and then maybe a third, and get it into the hands of the people who needed it most, or something like that's, one concept, even though there's a couple of facts happening there, right? It's one accomplishment, it's one concept. And then you said, and today we're helping more people in 1 week than we were previously able to in an entire year. Then that brings that home. But right now, this has no punch because this is so vague. This is why I created a whole new company that would complete the loop. Like, complete the loop is not a climactic moment or term, right? It's just, okay, we completed the loop. That doesn't feel like a climax moment. So get your discovery defined, bring it to climax, and then tell me the result. And then, so here's the other thing is, like, if we're talking about the farm and all this 80-20 thing comes out of nowhere. Click the button below for free access to our 80-20 health guide series. And I would take out series. I don't want a series. Instead, what I would love is the amazing 5-page document that will completely transform the way your concept of eating healthy, or how you eat, or completely transform your health, or double your energy overnight, things like that. That, yeah, maybe they sound a little more hypey, but it's a distinct, direct promise that excites me. I don't want to read 80-20 is not really a sexy term. Guys like Perry Marshall can pull that off, but he's like a known for as being like a hyper intelligent marketer. And like 80-20 is not the simplest concept in the world when you start digging past the surface for people to understand. There's math involved, and there's, you sort of get, if you take 100 things, that 80% of 20% of them are going to affect 80% of the result. But beyond that, it starts to become complicated. So don't fool yourself into thinking that 80-20 is this instantly ingestible concept for people. And health guide series, don't think that more is more when it comes to a free report. I want simple and quick. How can you change my life in a page, in a 4-minute video, in a 5-page report, right? That's the promise I'm after. And then this PS at the end, you'll get a chance to be one of the 75 founding members. And again, like, I don't know what I'm joining. So this feels like I'm just going to be pitched something that I haven't heard about and didn't raise my hand for. So yeah, you've got a lot going on, and you just need to organize it. This is all good stuff. It's just that Most of it doesn't belong in your 60-second sales hook. Okay. So let me click over here and see how you're responding to all this slew of information. Okay, cool. So let me just kind of see what you were commenting as I was. Yeah, isn't it shocking, Jay? Believe me, I sat there with Paris, one of the world's greatest copywriters, and he was reading our copy back to us and saying the same thing. And they were, you know what? He found one of our sentences, dude, had 8 fucking concepts. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the editor here of this. How do I not see this? But it just goes to show it takes a village. Nobody writes alone, and we all need to be looking at each other's stuff. That's why there can be no ego in copywriting. It's all in marketing. It's all about results. So, okay, let me just catch up with your comments. Yeah, 5, clarity trumps persuasion. You got it, Rod. Did you say it before I said it? Yeah, one concept. It's all about helping people eat and live healthier. Okay, good. So maybe the farm isn't the thing, Jay. Maybe like it's not about the farm as much. Okay. Paul, also more than one concept in a sentence is often triggered by writing without doing an outline first. It also causes bloating in our copy. It's so true, Paul. And that's why I talk about bulleting the product. And like bullets are, Matt and Tanya, I love that you're obsessed with bullets, because if you watch the bullet training, that's what I love about that training. It's not just about here's some bullet formulas. It's about how can you think in bullets when you are doing your research, going through the product. How do you bullet check your copy to make sure that every paragraph has an extractable bullet so that you're never wasting words? Like, that's the magic of bullets, far beyond just a simple little formula that makes for more readable copy. Think in bullets. Yeah, no farm. That's it, Jay. Yeah. So you're just getting too much in there, buddy. That's all. And again, common thing. And hopefully that helps you. Here's what to do. Write 2 different ones. Write one for sort of coaching people on how to live and eat healthier, and then write one separately for the farm, because you can use them in different places. But then decide for the action you want people taking. Like, what's the report really about? Right now, it's a vague thing. Sit down, spend some time with what this report is, who it's for, why you created it, why it's important. Run it through the 4x6 formula, run it through the question authority worksheet, and make sure that it has legs to stand on. John saying, Jason, is the benefit to your reader found in your farm struggles or found in the reason you started the farm in the first place? Yeah, these are good questions. Yeah, good, Jason. Yeah, so just keep going at it. And these are some great questions here. You should probably start a separate thread, so these amazing talents like John and Melanie and Ross and others and Wendy can weigh in a single thread, because the only thing, a bummer about these live chats is we lose all of these great back and forth in the comments once it ends. Yeah, Tanya says she watched the bullet training many times. I now write weekly emails based on a transcript of an interview, basically bullet out every paragraph. Cool. And then try to convert those bullets into headlines and other parts of email copy. But I know my bullets are still very weak. That's okay. I mean, you're learning to think in bullets, and the writing will follow. Oh yeah, Melanie turned me on to the coolest book. I ordered it, and it's not a Prime. I'm like so spoiled. It's going to take like a week to get here. Called The Art of Plain Talk. Have you guys heard about this book? Written in 1946, and it's even more relevant today. Oh, I bet it is. I can't wait to get my hands on that book. Yeah, Melanie turned me on to this book this week, The Art of Plain Talk. And yeah, Melanie, you know what? Are you prepared to come on screen? I love doing this to people now. I'd love to. Why don't you come on and talk about this book for a minute if you're up for it, Melanie? If you're not, it's okay. But know that camera's optional. I like to be sensitive to women. Gotta have hair and makeup, I guess. But you see me. Wendy keeps telling me how calm I seem in the videos now, and I'm like, man, was I like a mess before? I must have been so haggard. But I appreciate you saying as much. I have been sleeping better. Okay, Bruce. Oh, good. The audio quality is good. Yeah, I'm using a Yeti, a blue Yeti mic, and I'm talking pretty gently here. And I'm just close up on the mic. And, you know, the Yeti's like half the price of a Rode Podcaster, and I think it's 10 times the mic. I regret ever buying the Rode. It's an okay mic, but I think it peaks out way more. The Blue Yeti is the best mic, USB mic that I've ever used. Oh, you'll come on? Oh, cool. Oh, it's out of print. All right, here comes Melanie. We're gonna bring her on. All right, so you'll get a little invite there and can set yourself up however you want. John said he found a used copy of the book. Yeah, I should have looked at the local bookstore. I didn't know how popular it was, but we have a great old used bookstore here in St. Pete called Haslam's, and Jack Kerouac used to hang out there. And it's rumored that he haunts the place. And you know who started that rumor? The people who do the haunted tour of St. Pete. That's who started that rumor. Okay. Ooh, look at Colleen. You found the book in PDF form. Look at us. Are we stealing? I don't want to steal. Yeah, Phil, I agree. Everybody brags about the Rode. I don't know why, man. I'm like, I kind of wish I'd returned it. I don't dig it at all. I'm just going to buy another Yeti and use it. I have one in this room and one in the, what I call the studio, the soundproof room, but don't like the Rode. Oh yeah. It's by Rudolph Flesch from the Flesch Kincaid, writing, scoring. I don't know what the official, but you know, the Flesch Kincaid grade level. What grade level is your writing at? Well, look at this. Let's open this PDF. Oh, you don't have to buy the book like it's super cheap, but it just takes a while to get here. So now I can get a head start. Cool. All right, here comes Melanie. Looked like you were popping up for a second, and then something happened. Marston, you got a couple of used copies. Look at this. Everybody knows about this book. I was in the dark, man. Never heard of that one. Marston, the Rode is dynamic. Yeah. What's the difference between that and the blue? Is the Yeti not dynamic? And what does that mean? Like, to me, all I care about is that I can speak into it without it peeking out. Okay, Melanie, that's all right. But I would love to get, if it doesn't work, that's fine. But I thought it'd be interesting to get your big takeaways from the art of plain talk. So if you can make it on, great. If not, I will move on to, let's see if any other questions here. Bruce was just commenting on the mic. We talked about Jason's 60-second sales hook. We talked about bullets. Looks like that's about it. You guys want to look at, can I invite you again as a speaker, Melanie? We can look at more, okay, it picks up less noise from the background. Hey, there's Melanie. What's up? Hey,
here I am.
What's up?
Can you see me?
Yeah, look at you. You're camera ready already. You just wake up that way.
It's the glasses. They make me look smarter. I don't have to wear makeup. Yeah.
See, that's why I wore mine today. I wanted to look.
I think we have matching glasses.
We almost do.
Yeah.
Are yours Ray-Ban?
Yes.
They are really? Cool. We're going to walk around AWAI all coupled up. You know who's coming? You're going to be at AWAI in a couple weeks. So is John Belkowitz. Any other chiefs on this chat going to be at AWAI? Always a cool event. Be road dogging for Carlton again. So really looking forward to hanging with you guys there. So Melanie, yeah, you hipped me to this book. Tell me what really struck you about it. What were the big takeaways?
Let's see. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I'm to the part where it talks about how you can apply this to other areas of life. But I do love an old book, so that's where it started. And then I was kind of thinking about that Flesch Kincaid score.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to read the original work.
Right.
And So I ordered, there's a book that formula comes out of. And on the front and the back flaps, the book is so old that there wasn't an app or a way to quickly calculate the numbers. And when he did the first book, people got mad about the math. And so on the front and the back flaps, he drew, there's 3 metrics, and there's a tall one and a medium-sized one and a short one, and he drew it so that you could use a ruler. And all you had to do was take your ruler, and then you could look across and see what your reading complexity score was.
Wow.
And eventually somebody took that and made it a little thing that we all take for granted now, where you copy and paste your copy and it tells you, oh, that's 4th grade or that's 8th grade or whatever.
Right.
But his idea was to have one idea per sentence.
Right.
And let me see if I can remember what there were 3 components. And I remember the third was essentially storytelling, but anytime you can bring in the human element.
Right.
So yeah, he spends a lot of time. There's only, I think, one place. He was he was a linguistic scientist, and he's so funny because when things are very important, they get put in there in italics, never bold, always italics. And so he would say, please use verbs. Please, please, please use verbs. And please use words that people really say. Don't ever write in so much as, or where to for, because nobody talks like that.
Right.
And the big thing was that, can I tell my story about the campfire?
Yeah.
Okay. So he does tell this story in the book, and so I'll ruin it for everybody, but maybe it's still worth reading twice. But 2 researchers go into the rainforest and find this tribe that's never found other people before from the outside world. And so they want to introduce this idea of written communication. So they sit around the campfire, and it goes chief, and then linguistic scientist guy, and then warrior, 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 and then another linguistic science guy. And so he says, Chief, I want you to whisper something in my ear, and then he writes it down on the tablet. And then he passes the notepad from warrior to warrior to warrior to warrior, and then it goes to the other linguist, and the linguist reads it out loud. And the warriors are shocked and amazed, and now they're passing around the tablet, and they're shaking it, and they're rifling the pages, and they're looking through it, and they're like, what is this even about? How did the sound get in the tablet?
Wow.
Which actually doesn't even make sense. The sound went into the piece of paper, and then it came back out again. And we so completely take this for granted. But when you think about the words on a page, they're actually kind of ugly. And we just have this idea that they represent sound, but they really don't.
Right.
And so what if your words were actually sound transcribed? Because it's really just, if I were to blog this right now, if I've done it well, you would have the experience of me having told it to
right.
not the experience of you having had to read it and somehow to try to extract meaning from it.
Oh man, that's huge. God, that is so huge. It's so simple and obvious, but it's like so huge. And when you think about it, because that's our job as copywriters, right? Not only to find the hook and do all those things, but if it's not communicated clearly, all is lost. Right. And so if you think about it's just sounds creating an experience and an emotion in people, especially now where everything's pretty much going to be created in some audio format. Even if you're just podcasting, but certainly in sales copy, it's going to be a some form. It's going to be ingested in other modalities than just text. But even as we read text, we hear it in our heads, right? I mean, that's, if you're writing with color and with emotion, then we're firing off these parts of our brain. You know, that's our job, is to light up parts of the brain, right? And if we're not thinking of that as we write the copy, then we're not doing our job.
That's actually a really important point, because some people think that because the words are written down, that makes it visual communication. But the reality is that most people sub-vocalize. So in the 3rd grade, your teacher says, okay, now class, I want you to read silently to yourself. And most people never progress further than that. So they're not speed reading, they're reading to themselves. So they hear the voice. Right. And so no matter what, visual or written communication is auditory. And even if you were communicating with somebody on the radio or over VSL, It's now definitely auditory communication because you're hearing it.
Yeah.
So that's good because now we've gotten past one barrier. How do I get the words themselves to sound like something?
Right.
And now I'm saying, okay, I've got a little brain space because I can hear you talking to me. Now, please say something interesting.
Because I'm going to visualize it. I promise. I have no choice.
That's exactly it. Please tell me a story, or please take me on a journey, or give me something to visualize now that I'm completely focused on you. So if you think about this idea of getting somebody's attention, that's really all done with sound, even in a written piece.
Wow. You're a great teacher.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Cool. And so John says, yeah, Trout talks about vocalization, wording, connection a bit in his book, Positioning. I'll have to check that out. What's his full name, John? I haven't heard of Trout. Is that a newer book, Positioning? Yes. And Jason, to answer your question, I know we're probably jumping ahead, so apologies for that. Like the Flesch Kincaid, what's it officially? It's like the grade level readability score, I think is what they call it, right? And my favorite, so thank you, Colleen, for that link. My favorite tool is again with Perry Marshall, has a sort of suite of tools where you can, I think you just paste your copy into one text field and it gives you not only Flesch Kincaid, but some other helpful scores. And another really cool app is the Hemingway app. If you guys are probably all hip to that. It's the reason they call it the Hemingway app because Hemingway was famous for writing really eloquent sentences and of course very, very clear and direct writer. And so the Hemingway app, you can it's really cheap, it's a few bucks, and you can write in it. I find that a little distracting because it's sort of judging you as you write. So you can start to get flow, but you can paste your copy into the Hemingway app and it will tell you if you're using passive language, if any of the sentences are confusing, or there's more. Again, we're back to the concept, right? If there's too many concepts trying to come across in a sentence. So it's fascinating to hear you talk about how when Flesch was trying to teach all this stuff, there was no technology to measure it. And he had to, I think of like people calculating time with sundials. Like he had to create this chart that must have been really clunky to use. And now we have this fantastic luxury of like cutting and pasting what we've written. And that's why we're allowed to write like stream of consciousness, get in a zone, let it be sloppy all over the place. And, when we write drunk and then when you go to edit sober, use these tools, use the Perry Marshall thing, use the Hemingway app and all these things that'll point out, hey, if I did that with every email, it'd be that much better. If I have the luxury of time, I'll do that. And I'll always find better ways it's passive language. And what's great about it is it's teaching you as you go, right? Like passive language is one of those things I see all the time. And it's like one of those things that I think people realize that isn't the greatest sentence I've ever written, but I can't quite tell what I did wrong. If you can learn to recognize when you're using passive language, it's such an easy thing to switch, and it's so much more powerful when you write in direct terminology. So,
my son and I were having this conversation yesterday. Actually, he's a writer, and the kid's brilliant. And when he writes, motion happens. He writes in plots, and I write in images. So I'm a little jealous that he can make his stuff move and I can't. But we were talking. He comes to me and he says, "Mom, what's the difference between intent and intention?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you for being so smart. And let me think about it for a second." And it was this really long conversation about, is it a noun? Can I verb it? Why would I want to? And so we decided that intention and intent are both nouns, but that you can intend. And so this is relevant because one of the things you can do with your passive sentences is you can say things like, I was hiding, or I was looking, or whatever the other words are, not the to be verbs. And you can see, can I verb them? And if you can, then maybe they're the stronger word. Right. So a lot of times the quick fix is in the stuff you've already written. Right.
And just finding better ways to say them directly.
Right.
So if you can verb it, that's great.
Yeah.
Melanie, thanks for coming on. And just going to tease everybody and let them know that you and I are planning a training that I am so stoked about. I think I'm going to call it like the lost training. I really want to call it the missing training because that's more what it is. But my ego wants to call it the lost training, like it actually happened, but was somehow lost. But it hasn't happened yet. You created it, and it's essentially it's an extension of the thread you already started, which is the questions, the buyer questions, right?
Right.
And we've been kind of like developing these buyer profiles, and I got to tell you, it's one of the best copywriting, marketing, how to think about your avatar lessons I've ever seen. I'm like,
oh wow, thank you.
So super proud of what you created, and I cannot wait for you and I to come on just like this and teach it to everybody. It's going to be, it's going to add a whole new dimension to everything we do and teach here, because it's going to become part of the vernacular, and we're going to be able to say, have you run it through the 9 profiles? It probably end up with 9, right? And I just want to give the one big takeaway, and the thing that really blew my mind about it was it suddenly was the instant cure to the problem of any of us thinking we're being objective and saying, I know I'm not the market, but, and what one of my clients calls the curse of knowledge. When we create a product, we know so much about what it does that we're talking like we just did with Flesh Kincaid, and Jason's gone, what are you guys talking about? We're talking about as if everybody knows it. And he's gone, this is, and so it solves that because we can identify that we are one type of buyer profile for a product, but there are 8 others who have totally different objectives and things they need to hear about why they will buy. And if they don't hear them, you're probably going to lose that prospect. And it isn't based on the product, it's based on the personality. And
absolutely.
And so just having this amazing chart that you've created with all these profiles, you can instantly eliminate the problem of seeing everything through your subjective eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Incredible. It's incredible, man. So very soon this is coming up. I had to tease that because I'm like so stoked about it. But so thanks for coming on. I am going to free you. And I think if I hit eject, it only ejects you from the video and not from the entire call. All right. So I hope I'm not ejecting you completely, but thank you for coming on, Melanie. That was awesome. What a superstar. Okay, cool. Yeah, just verb it. So maybe just come up with a new catchphrase for Copy Chief. Just verb it. Which thread is that? Yeah, Tanya, Ross, can you find the Melanie's, I think it's called like the ever-growing list of buyer objections or buyer questions. If Melanie or Ross can find that that thread, maybe search under Melanie's name that's linked to that thread. Oh, I get chills. I'm so excited about that next training. I could go on for Melanie's just 1 year into freelance copywriting. She couldn't be a bigger superstar. All right. So I think we covered a lot of stuff. I try to keep these pretty tight. We're a little past an hour. So I want to respect everybody's time, but this has been a really great chat. These just keep getting better, and it's all because you guys showing up and having all these great, intelligent questions and taking action. Jason, the fact that you're intent on getting your message out and getting it clear, you could see how that benefits us all by giving us something to look at and conceptualize, and you being so open to the feedback we're giving you. I get emotional. That's what makes this a special place, that we're all allowed to learn together and contribute to each other. It sounds a little like woo-woo conceptual, but it's what we do. And that's why we say nobody writes alone, because this stuff does not happen inside your brain. If you cannot just have something live here and test it out in the market. And even if you get some results, there's no way you're getting the optimal results if it's just you. It takes a village to create great marketing. So Thank you, Tanya. You found the thread. There's the link. Okay. Thank you, guys. This was a wonderful chat, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and spend some time relaxing and refueling, and we'll be back at it next week, and I'll see you inside. Bye.